Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Adam and my job is to make you a little bit better at English every single video. So today I'm really excited to talk to you about Macbeth. If you clicked on this video, then assumedly you're going to be sitting Macbeth as a GCSE pretty soon. And that is both really exciting but also really terrifying. If you watch to the end, you will have all of the knowledge that you need to make sure that you're going to ace the Macbeth section of your GCSE exam. So let's get started. The first thing that you need to understand is that a basic knowledge of Macbeth is not going to be good enough to actually get good levels in this exam. You need to have deep, thorough knowledge of the characters, what they're like, their personalities, what they represent, themes they add into, but also their relationships with other characters. So for example, Macbeth, but then how Macbeth relates to the witches, how Macbeth relates to Lady Macbeth, how Macbeth relates to Banquo, and so on and so on. That's going to give you that deep, thorough knowledge that they're looking for when you're crafting your points and your ideas to answer the question. So my recommendation for that is to check out something like my online course, which goes through every scene of Macbeth literally line by line and gives you all of the major quotes that you need. Now that is a course on my website and it is a paid course. Unfortunately, I can't give all of my resources away for free, otherwise I would start to get slimmer and slimmer and starve down until I'm just some skinny stick sat here, and I like my steak. Anyway, that's the first step, is to get really detailed, thorough knowledge. You can check out some of my free resources, I am going to link that below. The next thing that you need to do is make sure that you're very good at deeply analysing those quotes. Once again, there's my course. I do have a list of a lot of quotes for different characters and themes, and how I would recommend analysing those for the exam. That's known as AO2 analysis. So whatever the quote is, make sure that you are picking out key words, possibly some structure, and maybe some techniques that you can dive into and zoom in on to actually explain why you have your ideas about the character or the theme. I'll give you a quick example. Macbeth says, "Stars hide your fires, let not light see my black and deep desires." He says this just after King Duncan has declared that his son Malcolm is Prince of Cumberland, so will become the next Scottish king. So here Macbeth using those words, black and deep desires. The colour black in this instance is meant to symbolise the evil that's running through his mind, because he is contemplating whether he wants to kill King Duncan to get the throne or not. So you need to be able to zoom in on a particular word choice, or the imagery of the black deep desires is another option, and then you need to be able to explain how this shows that Macbeth has a corrupt level of ambition, and how, in terms of interacting with Duncan, how he is very much considering killing Duncan, even though he views Duncan like a father. So that is the second thing, that's AO2, a deep ability to analyse language and structure and techniques within the quotes that you got from my course or from another course or my free resources. The final major thing that you need to be good at is context. Now, context is really two things. So what you need to do is you need to be able to talk about what's called reception. So that's how the reader, the Jacobean reader in the case of Macbeth, or Jacobean audience, because they would have gone to see this as a performance, how they would have reacted to certain things that Shakespeare said in the play. For example, the Weird Sisters, also known as witches, they would have been terrified. The Jacobeans would have been terrified of the witches. They believed in witches, they believed in witchcraft, they believed in the demonic. So they believed they were seeing real evil right there on the stage in front of them. So that might be how the audience received the witches. They might also have been upset with Lady Macbeth because she says, "Come spirits, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty." I could go all day, guys. I have all these quotes in my head. Anyway, they might have been upset with Lady Macbeth there because their views of gender expectations. They didn't expect a woman at that time to have power and to be trying to grasp leadership. They would also have seen it as very foolish that she was asking the demonic evil spirits to give her more power so that she could overpower Macbeth and force him into killing King Duncan. So that's reception. It's basically how the reader or the audience receives the information. Then you also need to go into what's called production. So that is how Shakespeare is producing Macbeth as a product of the 1600s in England. So I'll give you a couple of really simple examples. One of the reasons why he probably set the play in Scotland is because James I had just become king and James I was Scottish. So it was a way to flatter the new king. Another thing is that the play focuses in on a regicide or an assassination attempt on a king. Now, James I had just gone through an assassination attempt by a man called Guy Fawkes, which is called the Gunpowder Plot. That's the reason on fireworks night we remember the 5th of November. It's actually mocking Guy Fawkes and the fact that he failed to kill James I in the Gunpowder Plot. So as you're making your points and showing your deep understanding of the characters and the themes, and you're picking out key quotes and you're analysing the language and the structure and the words in the quotes, and then you're explaining how the Jacobean audience would feel about it as readers or audience members, you then finish by adding in how the thing you're talking about links to the time period, some event that happened in the time period, maybe some belief that Shakespeare held. If you do all of those things and you package that up nicely, then you are going to be very successful in your Macbeth exam. If you'd like some more help in general about your GCSEs, then check out this video. All the links to my courses, free resources, everything are down below. If you do need some extra help, I do also offer group tutoring, and I have an essay marking service, so if you have essays for Macbeth that you've written or typed, you can send them in and my team will mark them. Until the next time guys, thanks very much.